Coming up on Valley View News, what to expect for holiday travel during this time of coronavirus. Plus, Pfizer submitted an emergency application to start using its corona vaccine. And Snapchat launches a feature similar to TikTok.
Hello and welcome to Valley View News. I'm Liliana Ramirez.
And I'm Bryce Wayne in the Digital Media Center.
LA County is shutting down its outdoor dining for restaurants and bars. The halt will last at least 3 weeks. Restaurant owner Dustin Lancaster says the new restriction will impact his employees the hardest.
The biggest toll is we're going to have to lay off the people that we just brought back. We're going to have to furlough them likely as we downsize to a takeout only, which requires less kitchen, less front of house staff. So this influx is just it's about to break us all.
The decision was made after a surge of COVID-19 cases. The new cases average more than 4,000 over 5 days. If the 5-day average worsens to 4,500 cases, a safer at home order will be mandated for 3 weeks. Only emergency workers and people using essential services will be allowed to leave their homes. The county has more than 364,000 cases and more than 7,400 people have died.
The San Fernando Recreation Park is home to the new walk-up COVID-19 testing super site. The site is located 4 miles from the drive-through site at the Hanson Dam. This is the 10th location in LA where residents can receive free testing whether they show symptoms or not. Up to 3,000 people will be able to get tested per day. The site will also distribute up to 500 flu vaccines. The testing site will be added to the county's rapid antigen testing pilot program that delivers COVID results to participants within minutes.
Despite warnings from federal health officials, 2 million Americans were screened at airports last weekend. Infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci says he's worried about a potential surge in cases over the Thanksgiving gatherings.
As we're getting into the colder season, particularly the situation with the holiday season where you see people traveling, you see the clips on TV, people's at airports. I mean, those are the things we've got to realize are going to get us into even more trouble than we're in right now.
Airlines are emphasizing their sanitation protocols, but most aren't offering cash refunds for canceled flights. They'll offer vouchers instead. Valley View News asked people if the CDC's travel warnings are affecting their holiday gatherings.
I wear this mask and I'm going to go where it's necessary. I don't really travel publicly if I can avoid it. And I practice social distancing.
Well, it completely affects me because I do a lot of traveling. I use the train, I use public transportation. So without it, I'm pretty much stranded.
With the holidays around the corner, people are trying to get food to celebrate with their loved ones. Our reporter Ryan Ketchum spoke to one person about how a local food bank is helping with badly needed resources.
Packing bags and preparing Thanksgiving baskets for locals is a daily November duty for Moore Park Pantry Plus volunteers. Mother of 4, Deanna Robles, relies on the pantry during this tough time.
For my babies, diapers, wipes, food. So that's important for me to come here. And it's hard time for me.
Robles says she has been going to the food pantry since she was 11 years old. After her husband passed away, she has been coming more often. She says it's nice to know they are willing to help.
Right now I need a lot of things for my family because my husband passed away and Patty has a lot of things that I don't have. So right now I'm not working, so that's why I come here.
Frequent donor to Moore Park Pantry Plus, Charlie Keith, says he helps in order to give back to anyone who needs assistance. He says it's very important to him, especially during this pandemic.
There's so many people that are hurting and they really need help. So that's our way of trying to get them something to eat and make them feel a little bit better.
As the coronavirus continues to spread, families like the Robleses find joy in local food pantries. Reporting from Moore Park for Valley View News, I'm Ryan Ketchum.
Drug maker AstraZeneca just made the 3rd COVID-19 vaccine that's shown effective against the virus. It's 70% effective. It may become the standard vaccine for the developing world. AstraZeneca reported no hospitalizations or serious side effects by those who received it. The company says it won't profit from the vaccine during the pandemic. It'll sell the vaccine to governments and international health groups for $2.50 a dose. The vaccine can be stored in a refrigerator, so it can be shipped around the world using the immunization's distribution networks.
As U.S. coronavirus cases top 12 million, some Americans could get a vaccine as soon as December. Pharmaceutical maker Pfizer has a vaccine that requires 2 doses. It's 95% effective. The company says it'll produce 50 million doses at first. Pfizer applied for emergency authorization from the FDA to distribute the medicine. Pharmaceutical maker Moderna also has a vaccine that's 95% effective. The company expects approval for the vaccine in a few weeks. The FDA's Vaccine Advisory Committee meets December 10th to consider authorizing vaccines.
The Impulse Music Company in Santa Clarita reopened during the pandemic. Valley View News reporter Emily Brubaker explains the challenge the store is facing.
Santa Clarita's Impulse Music Company opened in August. To do so, it finished months' worth of renovation in just 30 days.
The keyboards, the pro audio equipment.
Social media manager Leire Bastarica explains their future plans.
We are going to carry way more stuff, like we are still waiting for some things. Some things are taking longer than usual to arrive because COVID, so some of the factories are working slower.
The company seeks to create a boutique experience. Selling instruments online, unlike selling other products, is challenging. Customers need to feel the instrument in order to find the perfect fit.
But the actual experience of picking an instrument, being able to feel it for the first time, and knowing what you're getting your hands on is still a very, very intimate thing that we, as musicians, can't really grasp by buying things online.
COVID-19 hurt many businesses this year, but it didn't stop Impulse Music from creating the experience they imagined for customers. Hockenberry named the store Impulse because loving music doesn't require much thinking.
We have the definition of Impulse painted in the back of the studios. It's honestly probably one of the most harmless but satisfying impulses you can have because music is just such a great thing.
Playing an instrument can be an outlet for many, especially during the pandemic. Staff at Impulse Music Company encourage everyone to learn. Reporting from Santa Clarita for Valley View News, I'm Emily Brubaker.
President-elect Joe Biden is quickly filling his cabinet. He nominated Anthony Blinken to serve as Secretary of State. Biden revealed his first round of cabinet leaders last week. Blinken served as Deputy Secretary of State and Principal Deputy of National Security under the Obama administration. He also served as National Security Advisor for the then Vice President Biden. Blinken will be tasked with mending relationships with allies around the world, especially those often offended by President Trump. Biden also nominated Janet Yellen as the first woman to serve as Treasury Secretary. Also, Avril Haines is slated to be the first woman to head the U.S. Intelligence Services. Cuban-born Alejandro Mayorkas will head Homeland Security. Linda Thomas Greenfield will be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, and Jake Sullivan will become Biden's national security advisor.
President Trump's campaign asked for a recount of nearly 5 million votes in Georgia. It'll be the third recount for Georgia. The president lost by 12,670 votes. If a candidate loses within 0.5 percentage points, they can ask for a recount. Georgia's voting manager, Gabriel Sterling, says there's no voter fraud.
One of the things that's frustrating is this was a very successful election in our state. And this generalized, we don't like the outcome, we think there's a problem. I can get that to a degree, but we keep on going through these machinations and showing there's nothing here.
A spokesperson for the Biden campaign says a third recount will again show the president-elect won.
A Brazilian sanctuary where all the animals are treated with respect is home to more than 100 animals. Valley View News reporter Marcela Rosa spoke with Patricia Barella about how she takes care of the animals.
Eu sinto medo. Most people have never heard the word speciesism. This long word represents the act of placing higher moral or ethical value on one species over others. Patrícia Varela founded the Vale da Rainha Sanctuary, home to over 100 animals, on the belief that all living beings should be treated with respect.
We'd like you to look at them and change your habits because of compassion, because of consciousness.
Psychology can explain that once someone has a first-hand experience with farm animals, as happens in a sanctuary, it can help them to make the connection, as psychology professor Stephanie Wienard explains.
In many cases, an awakening occurs where they realize that these animals, cows, pigs, chickens, turkeys, and so forth, they have feelings.
Many people call themselves animal lovers, but most times they only extend their love and care for pets. Vale da Rainha founder Vitorino Favano says that the reason why people are still buying animal products is because they have no idea what's going on behind the scenes.
A gente não vê o sofrimento. Paul McCartney disse que se os frigoríficos tivessem paredes de vidro, o mundo seria vegano.
As more people are connecting with animals, sanctuaries like Vale da Rainha are becoming more common than ever. I am Marcela Rosa, reporting from Minas Gerais, Brazil.
Governor Newsom and his family are quarantining after being exposed to COVID-19. The governor tweeted last Sunday that 3 of his children came in contact with a California Highway Patrol officer who tested positive. The officer provides security for the family. Newsom says he and his family tested negative but are still following CDC guidelines to quarantine for 2 weeks. Last week, the governor got backlash for going to a friend's birthday dinner at posh Napa Valley restaurant. The dinner was indoors and guests didn't wear masks. The governor apologized after photos were made public.
So far, there have been 300 homicides in Los Angeles this year. The last time it was this high was in 2009. Last weekend alone, there were 4 killings. Homicides are surging in cities nationwide. LA's murder rate is up 25% from last year. Overall shootings increased 32%. While there's currently a rise in violence this year, LA has seen worse. The 80s and 90s both saw years with more than 1,000 homicides.
After the break, Valley View News revisits some of our favorite stories from the past, including a small community station trying to give Cambodian news more mainstream coverage, and how an after-school program helps kids stay off the streets.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour, and another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? Well, now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
So I've come up with the family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
World leaders discussed the global economy during the annual G20 Summit. The 2-day summit was held virtually. There were 2 main topics. One was climate change. The EU endorsed the Saudi circular carbon economy in exchange for a renewed commitment to phasing out fossil fuel subsidies. President Trump stood by his decision to remove the U.S. from the Paris Accords.
The Paris Accord was not designed to save the environment. It was designed to kill the American economy. I refuse to surrender millions of American jobs and send trillions of American dollars to the world's worst polluters and environmental offenders.
The other topic was COVID-19 vaccines. The Group of 20 vowed to ensure affordable access to vaccines for all people. G20 leaders joined the endorsed COVAX, which is trying to distribute its vaccine worldwide. The U.S. declined to join.
About 10,000 protesters gathered in Guatemala after learning lawmakers approved budget cuts. Protesters reacted by setting their congressional building on fire. The cuts affected education, coronavirus patients, and human rights agencies. They're set to go into effect next year. The budget was negotiated and approved in secret. Protesters said it was passed as the country was distracted during the hurricanes that hit Central America. Guatemala's Vice President Guillermo Castillo offered to resign and told the president to do the same. Catholic leaders and the vice president want the budget to be vetoed.
Hong Kong's pro-democracy activist Joshua Wong is in police custody along with 2 other activists. Ivan Lam and Agnes Chow pleaded guilty to charges related to the demonstrations outside of police headquarters during anti-government protests last year. They were all charged with organizing and being part of an unauthorized protest. Wong says whatever happens, he knows his family and colleagues stand beside him.
Perhaps the authorities wish me to stay in prison, but I'm persuaded that neither prison bars, nor election bans, nor any other arbitrary power will stop us from activism.
The three will be sentenced December 2nd. If found guilty, they could face up to 5 years in prison.
Prior to COVID-19, one determined organization worked to give the underrepresented Cambodian community a voice. Valley View News reporter Timothy Tien spoke to a small community station broadcasting Cambodian news.
A green screen lines Khmer TV's walls. 2 anchors sit at a desk. They hope to bring information about the Cambodian American or Khmer population to its people. Tony Lai started his Bellflower-based station because he used to struggle with finding information about his community.
I have no idea that they have the parades. I have no idea Cambodian town exists. You know, you live right here but because you don't have information.
Ready on 5, 4, 3. And it's not just the Khmer community he's trying to reach. Lai says he wants to find ways to bring Cambodian culture into mainstream American culture.
I sponsor the Cambodian dancer, they call Khmer art. I sponsor them to go out and dance so that way at least it shows our culture to other people.
When they call in, they're going to call into the phone. He does this to give Khmer people a voice. Kampik Va says the Cambodian community is hugely underrepresented in media.
When I go to these events, there's not that many news outlets and there's not much coverage.
Khmer TV also offers up studio space like this for students to use for free. This gives them a place and an opportunity for them to learn and get off the streets. Reporting from Bellflower for Valley View News, I'm Timothy Tien.
General Motors is recalling about 7 million pickup trucks and SUVs. It'll replace potentially dangerous Takata airbag inflators. The announcement came after the U.S. government told the automaker it had to recall 6 million vehicles. General Motors says it won't fight the decision, but it believes the airbag inflator canisters are safe. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the inflators run the risk of exploding.
Retailers like Target and Kohl's are opening in-store beauty shops in order to increase sales. The beauty store Ulta recently joined Target. Kohl's plans to work with smaller beauty brands. They'll sell items ranging from makeup, perfumes, and nail products. U.S. beauty department store sales dropped 17%, and stores like JCPenney are closing 1/3 of their Sephora in-store locations.
Snapchat launched its new app called Spotlight. It has features similar to popular app TikTok. It'll show users top snaps from more than 249 million daily users in a feed. The company is offering a daily pool of more than $1 million to users who create entertaining snaps. Users have to be 16 years old or older to earn a payout. Spotlight is available in the US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK.
Before social distancing orders were placed, Valley View News reporter Abril Preciado spoke with a Los Angeles police officer about an after-school program that helps kids stay off the streets.
Boxing his way off the streets, 17-year-old Gio Gandara is making a champion out of himself in the Van Nuys Jeopardy program. He was placed in the program after his mother saw him hanging out with the wrong crowd.
I guess a little troublemaker, just getting into fights and being out in the street.
Gandara started Jeopardy at age 11 and started boxing the right way. He's trained with 3-time world welterweight champion Carlos Palomino, who's also a volunteer in this program.
Some of these kids already have been in trouble, already gotten in trouble. And so, I try to mentor kids about school, about education, about doing the right thing.
Although Palomino's goal is not to create world champions, he sees the potential in Gandara. He's recently won the Diamond Bell Championship and Junior World Olympics.
He's progressed constantly. We're in this gym, we're sparring with professionals. So that's how he's going to learn, that's how he's going to get better. So I see big things for him.
Gandara aspires to become the lightweight champion of the world one day. He also hopes to become an inspiration to others.
I impacted another kid's life then from there he could impact another kids and it could be ongoing.
The Jeopardy program is also offered in other locations within Los Angeles County in hopes to help empower and change the lives of at-risk children. In Van Nuys, Abril Preciado, Valley View News.
When we come back, a recap of the American Music Awards and how hula keeps senior citizens active and confident. Stay with us.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that? This one? No. Were you texting and driving again? Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
The American Music Awards had a small audience this year due to COVID-19. Live guests took a COVID-19 test before entering, had to wear a mask, and stay socially distant. This year's host was Taraji P. Henson. There were performances by Katy Perry, Billie Eilish, and Jennifer Lopez with Maluma. The Artist of the Year winner, Taylor Swift, wasn't present to receive her award. Instead, she made a video teasing her upcoming project.
The reason I'm not there tonight is I'm actually re-recording all of my old music in the studio where we originally recorded it.
Other award winners were Doja Cat, BTS, Justin Bieber, Dan and Shay, The Weeknd, and Dua Lipa.
Charli D'Amelio became the first person to hit 100 million followers on TikTok. This follows recent criticisms after saying in a YouTube video she was surprised she didn't hit the record earlier. Many of her fans unfollowed her, but she still broke the record. Since her achievement, she says she is waiting to wake up from this unbelievable dream.
Thank you guys so much. I cannot believe that there's 100 million supporters following me right now. That is insane.
D'Amelio is 16. She began using the app in May of 2019. The app has been available since August of 2018. On YouTube, it took 14 years for a channel to hit 100 million. Her sister, Dixie D'Amelio, is at 44 million followers.
Tyler Perry gave back to his community at his studio in Atlanta, Georgia. Perry organized a Thanksgiving food giveaway through his production company. The event took place outside of the studio's headquarters. The team distributed non-perishable foods items and gift cards to 5,000 local families. The first car in line arrived at 3 in the afternoon the day before. Lines extended miles, causing backups on the freeway.
Before the pandemic, senior residents of La Cañada, Flintridge, enjoyed staying active by learning hula dancing. Reporter Sarah Vong spoke with a hula instructor, Barbara Dempsey.
57-year-old Michelle De Castro is combining dancing to her exercise routine. Hula dancing, that is. For the past 10 years, she was having trouble lifting her shoulders.
My body was seizing up. Everything hurt. I needed to get some exercise.
She's never hula danced before, and now, 2 years later, she can lift her arm without any problems. Experts say a 30-minute dance class can burn between 130 to 250 calories. The oldest woman in this class is 87 years old, and hula instructor Barbara Dempsey says these women are more physically fit than they've been before.
Now they're retaining their numbers. They go home and practice, which means they're exercising outside of class. Plus, as you get older, you just lose your sexy. But when you start doing the hula, these women are feeling sexy and they're feeling good about themselves. They're coming into class with lipstick on and feeling good, looking good.
So right now, Dempsey says hula dancing has saved her after she had knee surgery. These seniors also perform each lesson to the public, so they're working out and training their brains to remember the moves. And for De Castro, she says she's seen improvements.
I have definitely limbered up, And, I could touch the ground and I have a lot more energy.
Dempsey says the goal is to feel good physically and share the aloha love with others. In La Canada, Flint Ridge, I'm Sarah Vong, Valley View News.
The LA Lakers are signing Marc Gasol to a 2-season deal. They're also trading JaVale McGee to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Gasol will likely take McGee's position as starting center. This isn't the first time Gasol was drafted by the Lakers. It happened once before in 2007. But he never played a game. He was traded to Memphis for his brother, Pau, who was expressed interest in returning this season. The agreement also trades Jordan Bell and Alfonso McKinney to the Lakers. But they both have waivable, non-guaranteed deals.
The Chargers beat the New York Jets Sunday night. The score was 34-28. The Jets are 2 losses away from tying the longest losing streak in franchise history. Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert was unstoppable for most of the game. He made 3 touchdowns and 37 passes. This makes him the only rookie quarterback in NFL history to have 5 games with 3+ touchdowns. The Jets ended the third quarter with a touchdown by Frank Gore.
Russian tennis player Daniil Medvedev defeated U.S. champion Dominic Thiem at the ATP Finals on Sunday. Medvedev is the first player to beat Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal. Fans were not allowed in the tournament because of the coronavirus pandemic. The tournament is moving to Turin, Italy next year. This was the last year of the 12-year run in London.
Valley View News revisits this story of an inclusive hockey team that met before the pandemic. Our reporter Renisa Pillai shares how the team works together.
The California Condors are the first special needs ice hockey team in the state. Since 2006, it played kids and adults with special needs. The program gives them a chance to be included in hockey, even if they have a disability. Coach J.P. Giolotti says he and his coaches look out for the players' best interests.
Me and all the other coaches, we're all volunteers. We like to get on the ice, know what each player's capabilities are, what their challenges are, and then we coach to that.
Fresh off a tournament in Toronto, Canada, the Condors still hold their 1-hour Saturday practice. It includes shooting, skating, and passing drills, followed by the scrimmage. Players learn more than just hockey skills. Dana Janis says the program has been good for her son, Alexander.
Socialization is really important with him. That's one of the hard things that he has with, as well as communication.
No matter what challenges these players face, they can always count on the game of hockey. In Simi Valley, Anissa Pillai, Valley View News.
The Oxford English Dictionary was unable to choose the word of the year for 2020. Instead, the report Words of Unprecedented Year lists the most popular words used each month. OED officials say 2020 is not a year that could be defined by one word. January's common word was bushfire because of the Australian fires. Acquittal was February's word after Trump's impeachment ended. Other common words throughout the year were COVID-19, lockdown, social distancing, and mail-in.
That's all for us at Valley View News. I'm Bryce Wayne.
And I'm Liliana Ramirez. For stories any time of the day, go to our website sundial.csun.edu. Thanks for watching.